I've got a bag. Do you want to see what's in my bag? Too bad. I'll show you.
Yeah. It's another bag.
Is this some sort of sick joke?
This is a bag within a bag.
This, my friends,
I could giggle at it.
is the Team Yokomo M3.0. Well, it's actually the MO 2.0 with upgrades.
With upgrades.
But let's call it the MO3. This is an absolute weapon. This car
made Ash Coble look good.
Made Ash Coble look good. This has done the world. This has been around China. It's been lapped over there wearing coyote green, and it has come back, and it has needed a tender, loving touch, to say the least. And I've given it a full strip down and rebuild. And
I love the way you're talking, quite frankly. Yeah. It's good.
And I absolutely love it. I've really enjoyed it. There is a lot to it. Like I've always been a two-wheel driver, and at heart, I think driving still a two-wheel driver. But there's a lot to these mechanically. You've got your 3 fluid-filled diffs. So the whole drivetrain's a lot more complex, if you will. You've got all your clearances in your front and rear gearboxes, like to shim up and get right. So there's a lot of work into getting these and to getting these right. And I think I've taken a lot of time and a lot of effort, and I think it is so far absolutely come up a treat. Now, one thing that I didn't have in situ for this bad boy, TFG, and I couldn't find in my parts box, was a battery retention system.
It's held in via osmosis.
I don't know what the last person did battery hold down wise, but when I got it back as a strip chassis and a bag of bits,
nothing there.
There was nothing there. Anyway, I put the call out to our good friend Berserk RC and said, Berserk, what have you got for Yokomo four-wheel drive retention system? And he said, have I got a battery hold down for you?
And
so
he did.
He did. He had them on file. So these little plates here, which are fully adjustable forward bias and rearward bias to move the what?
Need to be careful at the front one because it's mighty close to this.
There's about 3 mil. It looks like that, but there's about 3 mil, and there's no flex there.
Yeah.
He's worried about that little clearance in there, but it's been beautifully engineered to be such a thing. But yeah, so the build is coming along very, very nicely. Obviously got the Coyote. This building this up as a stock buggy, 13.5 stocky motor in there, which has been off and fettled by Luke, who was on the show a couple of weeks ago. He's had this one on the dyno and souped it up for me. So that is ready to rip. Got the Coyote battery in there, of course. 9 steps steering servo. I was so impressed with one of these.
Low profile one.
The low profile one. So impressed with this in my RO 2.0 that I had to give it a try in the four-wheel drive as well. So really happy with the quality, the speed and the accuracy of the 9-step servos. So that's made it into this competition buggy. Just waiting for a fresh shipment from my friends at Team Coyote, as they've collaborated in this build, and they've actually
freebies
sent some, let's say, prototype and sample goodies for this. So looking forward to that happening. Getting a new Speedy. I've got a Futaba 404 SBS-E because I'm going to pair this to my 10PX receiver to go in. So I wait till the Speedy goes in, wire it up, probably no doubt with oversized wire.
Of course.
Because I don't know, I'm just seem to be like that lately. And there we have it. So I'm looking forward. So it's not built today. It won't be built tomorrow, but I look forward to this coming out probably the other side of winter. It's not something that I actually want to get dirty, all the effort that I've put into it. Everything has been polished, the shock shafts, the hinge pins. I've reshimmed all of the steering blocks and caster blocks. There is no movement anywhere. Considering that it's got very little new parts on it, it was literally just a full strip rebuild. I put all new bearings throughout, utilized, reshimmed the gearboxes. I think it's going to be really nice.
You've put more work into this one rebuild than I've put into building 10 new cars.
Yeah. Well, it is often harder, TFG, and I think you'll agree with me. It's often a little bit more harder or skillful, if you will, rebuilding a worn car or a used car than building a kit. A, you don't have to clean anything.
Yeah.
And B, a new kit, the kits are so good these days, you pretty much just assemble them, right?
Yeah, and they're good.
Not like the kids of yesteryear where you had to polish and you had to fire alarms and re-clearance things. They're all made that good now. You can pretty much just throw them together.
The original 6-gear RC10s, oh, Jesus.
Apparently they were an absolute nightmare. I never built one, but Master Joe used to tell me the woes.
Oh, they were terrible.
They were absolutely crap.
You'd spend hours and hours on all the gears inside the transmission, filing them, and because they were just really rough.
Yeah, well, that was all pretty much hand cast stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like back in the day before computer controlled CNC and injection molding. So times have changed. This is a beautiful engineered race buggy from Team Yokomo, and I'm looking forward to getting it finished, getting it on track. And my son's been chomping at the bit. Young Tristan, yeah.
Should have him seen too.
Should have him seen too. So four-wheel drive's his thing, and yeah, I'm looking forward to. I want to give it a debut run, and then I'll go. Yes, that's not for me, and then I'll let him have a run.
I built a YZ4 years ago.
Bought
from here.
Yep.
From Robbie Llewellyn, of course.
Yep.
And I loved building. I built the thing, and I thought, oh God, this is nice. And then I never drove it and sold it to Scotty Pettit, I think. Yeah.
Well, they're absolutely beautiful to build and beautiful to work on. Like I said, there's a lot on them compared to a two-wheel drive. But if you're in the market, and they really, I suppose, because I'm not used to, but I suppose my memories of four-wheel drive buggies were Yokomos and that of yesteryear with the belts and stuff, which were very, very temperamental, to say the least, and top forces and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Where you'd really struggle to not only harness the power of a modified motor, but to actually get it to the end of a race. That was with ball diffs and stuff like that, which would grit up, and belts, but these things here are rock solid, and boy, can they take a hit.
And you don't need any aftermarket parts or even optional parts. The thing's fine as it is.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, we've got Berserk bits on this, but only because we can.
Only because we can. That's right. Everything else is out of the box. It's got gold shock shafts on it. Funny story
not all gold.
Funny story about the shock shafts, TFG, is that
is it that funny?
Well, not really.
Yeah, it is.
But it's actually got, if I can get this on the camera, got a gold shock shaft over here.
And
got a silver one over here. And that is,
you've got a shiny shaft,
I've got a shiny shaft. And that is because when I was on the last rebuild of when I was rebuilding the last shock of the build, which was this front right one, it actually had a bent shaft. So
you should see someone about that too.
Yeah, instead of seeing somebody about that or trying to repair it, because you can't and you don't, I just put another one. And I didn't have a gold one in my box of bits, but I did have the silver one.
You've got a gold member.
So it's a little bit gold and silver in front, and I like that. It's going to make no difference for me whatsoever. No. The only reason that we have gold is because it's the same steel shock shaft, but it's nitride coated, which is meant to be less stiction or smoother operation on the O-rings.
The AE ones are Kashima coated.
I think that's the body. That's the hard anodizing body. Yeah, because with AE you get the standard ones, and then you got to buy new shocks, right, for the good shocks.
Yeah.
Whereas Yokomo just comes with the good stuff straight away.
Yeah.
But yeah, the shock shafts. Yeah, there you go. All new, all rebuilt drive shafts, all rebuilt diffs. Like I said, waiting at Speedy and ready to go.
Yay.
What else has been on my bench?
A Ducati.
This is like I'd say you're right.
Yeah.
I'd say that this is not a paid advert for Berserk, but I've got another bag with me.
Well, he didn't pay for it, that's why.
I paid, well, he would have somewhat. He doesn't get the carbon for free.
No.
This car was formerly known as my chocolate sundae. Is it a chocolate sundae?
Yeah, ice cream sundae.
Ice cream sundae. Sorry,
that's the
ice cream sundae YZ10. So this is the Works 91, the YZ91. And again, Berserk actually come to the party nearly 12 months ago now.
Yeah.
Before last Vintage Bash. And he sent me all the carbon fiber goodness for it. And I thought, you know what? It's time for me to start getting ready for this year's Vintage Bash. And what a time to do it. So I've taken off the standard chassis, the standard shock tower, and I am rebuilding it and rebirthing it with the goodies from Berserk. So again, I've got carbon fiber shock towers, top deck, and chassis plate to go on there. But it's good. It needed a bit of a rebuild anyway after last Vintage Bash.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to building this up and getting ready to come out again the other side of winter with a plom.
A plom?
Yep.
Oh.
And also awaiting fresh kit from our
Well,
friends
yeah,
at Team Coyote.
Has Oscar worked out that you're reeling him in here just to get all this stuff?
Wow. Hopefully it's
I think it's worthwhile though.
it's worthwhile.
'cause
Hopefully we make it look good. It's going to be a nice build.
Yeah.
I'm going to use some fancy colored wires on this one. I'm going to put the RS 120 in this.
Yep.
Paired to the Team Coyote Stocky 17.5 is what I'll race in this 91 class.
8-gauge wire.
No, I think the fancy wire is only 14, 13. I don't know. Anyway, sensible.
Yeah.
It's the same one on my lunchbox. You've seen the lunchbox,
Yes.
Evo.